Welcome back to another Fast 420 Manaiakalani podcast. On today's episode, we're super excited to have Lorenz Wijnschek with us, a business owner and a sales consultant for AES Waterblasters. Also a keen podcaster and a news presenter. But yeah, good to have you on the show, brother.
Thank you for having me, bro.
No, it's exciting. So a little bit for our listeners, just Lorenz and I, we have just been chatting about how we remember about meeting each other from Riverside Camp back in 20
whatever years ago.
back a while ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
But when on my first Riverside Camp at Point England, and you were one of the youth helpers there with a few of the other kids, and had a blast. So I guess if you could just tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, like growing up and kind of where you went to school
and stuff.
Yeah, and where you're at now. We'll go through kind of your timeline of your life, I guess.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So obviously I've born and raised in East Auckland in GI Panmure. Went to Point England school, and best time of my life basically at Point England school, and then moved from there to Kohimarama Intermediate and then Glendale College. Basically, I mean, through primary I was always into technology and stuff like that, but then also into sports and all that sort of stuff. Fast forward, I did a few years in the Navy, had a bit of fun doing that as a chef, and decided to take that on board, and worked in a restaurant after that, but then realised that I only wanted to cook for my family and not for big crowds of people.
Yeah, true.
So then fast forward now, I have a beautiful wife, and I also have two gorgeous little girls. I'm living out in Takanini now, so I'm not actually in East Auckland, but my family is still here. My parents are still in East Auckland. That's pretty much it. And I'm a business owner. I have my own clothing company that I started last year in December. And we do obviously our own brand, but then we also do custom clothing as well as the sales consultant that I've been doing for just over a year now. And life has definitely changed from when I was a kid to what it is now. You know, I didn't expect to be where I am, but here I am, and I've always been a firm believer in, whatever happens, and just roll with it. So
cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, firstly, it's so cool to see like I said, the last time we would have seen each other may have even been 10 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And now to see where like you've come from where you were helping out at our Riverside camp to where you are now, like congrats, man. Like that's such an awesome career you've made from yourself. And
thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Two awesome kids and your wife and living out in Takanini.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll talk a little bit more later on the podcast about your clothing brand, which exciting to hear about, and and what you're up to for work with AES and stuff, and so that's super cool. Let's go back to when you finish at school and you go into the Navy.
Okay.
What was your kind of so you finished school at Glendale?
Yep.
And the following year you go into the Navy?
No, so I finished. Was it 2014, I believe?
Yep.
Yeah, I finished college, and then I did a year working at Placemakers Frame and Truss.
Okay.
So one of my best mates, Antony Villa, who also went to Point England as well.
Yep.
His dad got me a job at Placemakers, so I worked there for a year while I went through all the testing and application, like the application and testing for the Navy.
Oh, is that quite intensive, is it?
Yeah. So you got to apply and make sure they make sure you have all the qualifications for whatever trade you decide to do in the Navy. And then after that, you'll go and do like a theory test, you'll do a fitness test, and then basically it's a waiting game. If they're not wanting the trade that you're wanting, well, you could be waiting until they're needing the trade.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a thing. So like when you want to be in the Navy, you actually apply for the trade that you want to be in.
Yeah.
And that's your kind of way that you go into the Navy.
Yeah, exactly. So I applied to be a chef, and at first I wasn't actually first pick.
Okay.
And it wasn't until 2016, what was it, Jan 2016, I think it was. I got beginning of Feb, got a phone call randomly while I was at work, and they said, "Oh, we've had someone pull out. You need to be here tomorrow at 8:00."
What?
And I was like, "Oh, heck, okay." So called my mum and dad and said, like, this is what's happening.
Yep.
Went to go see the manager of the job, of Placemakers, and said I needed, like, I'm resigning as of now. And he knew what the story was, why I was working there and everything, and he was all good with it.
Yeah.
So he said, I'll just write that you're resigning on a piece of paper, walk out the door. We had to go to the warehouse and all these places to get a whole heap of stuff to make sure we all had everything, that we needed, because there was a list of stuff that you needed to bring in. And
so at this point, like, when you're being told that, like, be there tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., like, is this like you're going to, like, live and be a part of, like, the Navy?
Yeah, so yeah, so it was in the afternoon. I think it was about 1:00 in the afternoon. And then I got the phone call to say that you had to be there at 8:00. And then from that point on, of when I turned up to the naval base in Devonport,
Yep.
for, was it February to June, I think it was, 18 weeks. 18 weeks of basic common training. Where you're on base, and I think the first 5 weeks you don't see anyone, contact anyone, and then you do a church visit on the 5th Sunday, and then you end up getting, like, weekend leave and stuff, but you can't stay overnight.
Oh, okay.
It's just for the day from a certain time to a certain time.
What's the reason for that?
It's just to create. I suppose it builds, like, what's the word? Just build strength within yourself to be away. Yeah, resilience is the word. That's it. To be away from family.
Yeah.
And not have contact. If you're out on sea, out at sea, you have no contact.
So how'd you find that the first kind of 18 weeks?
It was hard. It was hard. It was fun, and it was very like, the growth within myself was amazing.
Yeah.
But it was hard. I got to about the what was it, 14th or 15th week, and I broke. Yeah, I broke, and I actually went and saw the petty officer instructor and said, I want to call my parents, like, I want to get out of here, I'm done. And he looked at me and he said, okay, go make the phone call. And so he gave me my phone, let me call my parents, and mum, did what a mum does, and dad did what a dad does, and said, look, you're so close to finishing, just see it out. Once you're there, and it'll be fine.
You're so close at that point, eh?
Yeah.
3-4 weeks out.
Yeah, and my the instructor, he was in the room while I was on the phone.
Oh, nice.
And he just had a big smile on his face, because the pickup after speaking to my parents, and
that's what does it, eh?
Yeah. And my older cousin was actually over at my parents' house at that time, like, coincidentally.
He just gave you a bit of
oomph,
do this, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because it was tough. Like, we
mentally as well, eh?
Yeah, it's a mental game. Yeah. But that's what I mean. It builds that resilience and growth in your own mind.
Especially as like a 18, 19-year-old boy.
Well, I wasn't even 18 yet.
Oh, okay. So that's like when you're at your most, like, that's your make or break years, eh?
Yeah. Like no, sorry, I was freshly 18. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah, freshly 18. But still, even then, it was like, you just wake up one day and you're going away for 4 months or however long it is.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Pack your bags, say goodbye.
Pretty much, yeah. And you're sharing a room with, 7, 8, 9 other dudes.
But it's something that you wanted.
Yeah.
So you were like, that's it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did it.
Man.
Yeah, and it was mint. Yeah.
So you were there for 3 years in the Navy?
I was there for, what was it? Yeah, probably around 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then moving on from the Navy, then that chapter of your life finishes.
Yep.
And then where next?
So after the Navy, what did I do actually? Oh, I ended up going in. I helped my dad. He's a painter by trade, so I ended up jumping on board with him.
Nice.
And doing painting with him for a few years, and then after that, I ended up in a restaurant, just a small time restaurant in Remuera.
Oh, yeah.
And I was there for a couple of months, and then so I did painting for a couple of years, and then it was 2020 that I started at that restaurant. Oh, yeah. And then sure enough, COVID hit.
And that's when
it just went sort of downhill a little bit. Yeah. So then COVID hit, and during that time, I didn't know when I'd be back in the kitchen because, being in hospitality with that going on, you don't really know
That was the biggest
structure.
hit.
Yeah. So I ended up asking my father-in-law if I could have a job doing foundations. So became a tradie, and I did that for 6 years.
Holy.
Yeah, did that for 6 years, and it was a really fun job.
Yeah.
In terms of just learning, basically with foundations, I mean, you're doing the concrete slabs.
Yep.
Before a house is built on it. So you're doing all the stuff in the ground. Yeah, massive job.
And like intensive labor?
Yeah. And so start time we'd start between 5:30 and 6 in the morning, and most nights we wouldn't get back till 5:30, 6 at night. Sometimes it'd be a late night. We might not get back till 7, 8 o'clock. All that sort of stuff, but worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, worth it. And then fast track again.
Yep.
Ended up left the foundations, and then teed up with AES Waterblasters, and then been doing that ever since. And then obviously my clothing, and
Yeah. So with AES, your position as a sales consultant, am I correct?
So sales consultant, and also like pretty much second in charge to my boss. Because he had only just recently taken over when just before I started, pretty much a couple of months before I started.
So you kind of started together.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so he ended up taking me on, and then said to me, I need a second in charge. You're going to be that guy. And then we've built a really good relationship in that role as well, and it's cool because we both have the same mindset of where we want the company to be, but then he's also on board with helping me in my clothing and where I want that to be. With stuff that he has,
So it's more of like a actual personal relationship rather than just your work.
Yeah. So that and that helps a lot.
Man.
Yeah, so it's mint.
And then I guess going into your Kanso Clothing, which I've been super excited to hear about. But if you could tell us a little bit about even like where that started.
Yep.
I know we'll have a link for the people down in the comment section for people to go and check your website out. But just to like tell us a little bit about it, where it all began and where you're at now.
So, back in, 2021, I spoke with my wife and said that I wanted to start doing back then the bootleg like rapper graphic tees and stuff like that was sort of like trendy back there, or starting to,
they were going off.
They were popping off.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to start designing it, and I'm going to start printing it and doing it myself. And so I did, and then it sort of, we had our first kid. Stuff was expensive, all that sort of jazz. So then I thought, I'll leave it. I'll pause. We'll just leave it at that. So we did, and then fast track to last year, just before Christmas. I literally just woke up one morning and thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. But I'm going to go down the path of starting my own brand. Mm-hmm. So I did. I made a website. I had like next to no experience. Literally just woke up.
Who made the website for it?
Me.
What?
Yeah. Me. I made the website. So originally, I made the website with Shopify because it has all the design tools in there. So that was fine. That was, easy as. Made the brand, come up with, I had designs in my mind, and the reason it's called Kanso is it means simplicity in Japanese. And then my slogan is simplicity with intention.
Cool.
And I took that approach on with my designs. They're not in your face, but they're enough that you notice.
Yeah.
I hope.
No.
And so took that on board, and then through my full-time job, got linked up with one of our suppliers who wanted me to actually print his football team's uniforms. So I ended up taking board a big job, and I was
early on.
I was probably about a month, maybe a month and a half in.
Days.
And he just rocked up with this big box of uniforms that had 30 kits in it, and said, "Here you go. I'm trusting you. Here's the money.
Wow.
Go and print." And I'm standing there going, "Oh yeah," out loud. I'm going, "Yeah, sweet, easy as." In my head, I'm going, "Oh no."
What have I just signed up to?
What did I just do? But it ended up turning out really, really good.
Man.
And so then from there, I spoke with my wife and sort of thought, why not take on a custom printing sort of role as well, offer that out to people. So then because of that, it grew it even more. So, my brand is there, Kanso Clothing is there, and people buy that. But the custom approach is it's bringing in a lot more people because everyone wants something printed.
Yeah. So say if I'm like, for our listeners as well to understand, like say if I'm just, I've got a logo or something that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Do I come to you with a T-shirt or do I come with you with the logo? Like, how does that kind of work?
So the process, it's really simple. I'm open to messages on just DMs on Instagram, TikTok,
Yep.
Facebook, and we have an email address as well. No matter how you contact me, all I need is literally the design or the logo that you want done, the size of the T-shirt. So I supply the T-shirt, I supply the print, I do the print, and then I give it to you.
Oh, actually, so I just have to message you with the design that I have.
And we want it on the
Yeah.
T-shirt or hoodie or
And then
whatever it is.
pretty much that's it.
Yeah. What
Wow.
size, how big you want it, I'll do a mock-up of it and then send it through and say, is this how you want it?
So it's like that simple.
Yeah, pretty
Man.
much. And I'm happy, like I do a bit of designing as well.
Oh, okay.
So I recently designed a Muay Thai, like kickboxing supporter shirt for a fighter out in West Auckland. Shout out to Vakia Tonga. So his partner actually messaged me on Facebook and said, can you design this for me and print it? And so I have, and then all of a sudden, so initially it was, she just wanted it for herself, which was sweet.
And people are starting to ask for it.
Or then she come back and said, can you do a supporter one just for the gym?
Oh, man.
And so I said, okay, sweet. Yeah, done. And now she's come to me within 2 days and said, we've got like 15 orders already and there's more coming.
Oh, my gosh. How cool's that?
Yeah. And so I'm just waiting for her to finalize numbers, but she said the numbers are still rolling in. So it just creates relationships like that,
Well, I think like that's the thing. And like even when I think about like you're looking at like you're watching like a NRL game, right? And you see people in the stands with all these same like logo designs of like a player that they know.
Yeah.
There's like 60 of them wearing the same T-shirt.
Yeah.
Like that's like if you can get some of that kind of business, like that's so mean.
It's huge. It's huge out there.
But I think the cool thing about it is it's a business that everyone wants those shirts. Like that's so cool, those shirts.
Yeah.
Especially when you can plan your own design on it too, and like being someone like yourself that's so that you're like, this is our business.
Yeah.
Like, we want you to give like custom shirts. Like that's so cool.
Yeah. And that's a cool thing too, like with the NRL sort of approach, because I'm a big league fan as well. It's not on my website, so people won't see it, but if you actually like watch my videos on TikTok and Instagram, I've taken on the approach of doing Dragon Ball Z characters wearing league jerseys.
Yeah.
And
I saw the New South Wales one there.
Yeah. So
that's so cool.
And those actually popped off. Like I had a lot of people wanting those, the State of Origin ones. Yeah. For something it's simple, but it sells.
Here's a big question. How far do you think, are you close to being able to have the clothing business as kind of like your full-time job? Was that still a bit far away? Or
It's still a far away. It's still far away.
In the vision though?
It's definitely in the vision. My goal when I started it was, like I said, like I woke up and said, I'm just going to do it. But my ultimate goal was to be able to retire my wife and be able to say to my kids, if you want something to go do, you can come do this, And I know a lot of people will probably look at it and go, well, that's just too easy for your kids. That's just my approach.
It's every husband's goal, eh?
Yeah.
I say the same thing to my wife. I was like, that's my goal in life. I want to retire you.
Yeah. I just want to be able to have, say to my wife, you don't have to work full time if you don't want to.
Yeah.
You can chill at home. You can have a part-time job if you want.
Yeah.
Because
you just see how much they do, eh?
Bro, she does the hard yards. I'm out. She's out the door at 5 a.m. and she's back home with both kids by 3:30, and I'm out the door at 7 and not home till 5:36. And then with the clothing going on, it's
especially when they're like when they were babies and stuff. Like she's the one at home.
Yeah, you feel helpless.
Honestly, I'm currently in that 6 months deep.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I keep thinking like I'm going to work so she can be home.
Yeah,
But like it's like, man, it's it's so many feelings of like you feel so grateful.
yeah,
But then you also feel
Yeah.
so like you're helpless.
Yeah.
But you just, I think, to make yourself in a good headspace, you have to keep remembering like I'm so grateful that I've got like such an amazing wife that does all this stuff for our family.
yeah,
And that's someone that like, because like, man, these like ladies in our life are like so selfless.
Right,
Like-
and you don't realize it. Like you truly don't realize it until you have kids.
Yeah,
In my opinion,
I agree.
you know,
Yep.
like some do, and kudos to them for noticing it. But up until you have kids, you know, 1, even 2,
Yeah.
or however many it is, like you don't realize that they are literally the backbone.
Yeah.
Because they do so much without you even realizing.
Mm. If we take Lorenz back to when he was let's say maybe 8, 9-year-old, or just your time at Point England.
Yeah.
Can you tell our listeners maybe some early opportunities you had to create using digital technology at school?
Okay. When I think back to around that time, there was obviously the KPE. There was podcasting where
Yep.
we spoke about books that we had read.
Yep.
And I was lucky to be one of the first ones, along with the other students that were in my year, to do that. But there was a class that was called Computer Lab. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Computer Lab, with Miss King.
Oh, yeah. Shout out,
and
Miss King.
Shout out Miss King, because that was some top stuff. That was where we used things like Hyper Studio. I think we may have used like the early stages of Photoshop when it was like still sort of brand new.
Okay.
And basically that's where technology really came into effect for me, because that's where like in there you were on the computers constantly learning how to do all sorts of stuff. And that's where like even PENN,
Yeah.
like all that sort of stuff as well, being able to do the news network and talk about what's going to happen, what's happening today, and what's happening out in the world. And it was just a big eye opener to technology.
That's cool, man. So is there something that, like, I know you talked about like the Hyper Studio and the animations and stuff. Is there something, if you can try and rack your brain back to think of something you may have created with Hyper Studio animation, or is that?
One thing does come to mind, and I think it's because we mentioned Miss King. I remember there was like a contest that went on, and there was a photo of myself standing on a chair, so that I was taller than Miss King and Miss King, and it was you had to edit the picture, however, like in the most creative way possible. So you had people doing things like making it like a king and queen. You had,
Oh, yeah.
I think I did back then, like Dragon Ball Z and stuff was huge for me, so
Yeah.
I like made myself had like Super Saiyan hair, all that sort of stuff. So that was cool, because it was like a little contest between all of us to see who could do the best artwork on
Yeah.
Hyper Studio,
Oh, man.
designing and drawing and stuff like that. It was that's stayed with me for years.
Yeah, so it's those real early opportunities to
Yeah.
be creative and use those digital skills.
Yeah.
That's that have kind of, when you think about, I mean, I don't want to say it's anything, but I don't know if that kind of relates to, I mean, you're still very creative, and even just what we heard about earlier about you designing T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Does that have any relation to being back at school and stuff that you did
Yeah,
there?
yeah, I believe it does, because I mean, if it wasn't for those classes, I don't think I'd have the confidence to be open to more, like to all that sort of design stuff. Like, I was very, I suppose, even when I started the clothing, I was like very nervous about using Photoshop because I hadn't done it in years.
Okay.
But then it almost became like second nature, just pulling things, starting to do things. You sort of remember, it's like muscle memory.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I get you.
And you just
like
remember
fluent.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes all the way back to being at Point England, having those opportunities to use things like Hyper Studio
Yeah.
and, all that sort of stuff.
I know even when I searched your name into Google, it came up immediately with a New Zealand Herald article. I don't even know if you know, but it's with your podcasting and presenting to people that came into Point England.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you kind of remember about presenting to people or having people into the school? Like, was that a common thing?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, that was huge. I mean, we, being I think we were the only school or one of the first schools to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was huge in the country and internationally as well. I remember being interviewed in the Herald for the Herald, and my mum being interviewed. And I remember the picture easily. I was sitting next to Braxton Baker, so I remember that. I think I was even leaning on the desk exactly how I am now. So, but no, in terms of like speaking to people, we were little kids, 8, 9, 10, talking to international adults who would come from all over the world, and we go to the library, and I think it was myself and Sharon Rose, and I think Sarah Tuya as well. Maybe some other, I can't remember, but we had to do like full presentations for quite a while explaining how we do it so that they could go back to their country or their schools, wherever they were from, so they could then use it and start doing it because we were one of the first. So that's what I mean. Like, we were little kids speaking to adults about this is how you use technology.
Did you like understand at that time how powerful that was, what you were doing?
No, I had no idea. To me, it was like I'm out of class and I'm talking to these people about what I do. Like that's all it was. Thinking back now, it's huge.
Well, you were kind of like paving the way for education.
Yeah, and we were
schools and different kids for hundreds of thousands of different students.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what started it. I think even the likes of like Rakai and all of us were on board with it because we were just all we were wanting to do was get in that podcast studio and record ourselves, and then just have the opportunity to basically be a voice to the world.
What was the big pull to really wanting to be in the podcast?
As a kid, getting out of class.
Yep.
In all honesty, getting out of class. But at the same time, just being able to openly express yourself about something that you had read. I know that sounds like a little cheesy or whatnot, but if you think back to being a kid, being able to sit there with your mate like we are now, but we were in a small studio room side by side with just little mics that we'd hold and a script in front of us. But it was just being there with your mate and saying, this is what I read. This is what happens. I think it's cool. And it was just like, that sort of vibe, if that makes sense.
No, I 100% agree. And half the reason I'm wanting to ask the question as well, a little bit selfishly, is because my kids are doing podcasts at the moment, and I would love for them to hear, and I'm going to share this with them, and I want them to understand like that people that did KPE and that were in the podcast studio 20 years ago still remember it vividly, and they remember like the impact it had on their lives at the time. Like, yes, my kids also say, can I go and record now, because they don't want to be in the classroom. But I think what you just kind of talked about being with your mate and having a discussion about the book that you've read, like, and sharing it with the world, not really that you knew at the time how big it was.
No, I had no idea.
and even these kids right now, like we're sharing it on a platform as well, which they probably don't understand, the people that are viewing it as well. We had Tanielu on the podcast a few weeks ago, and we pulled up his blog, and we showed him that there were, I think, 5,000 people.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was just like, he was sitting where you were thinking, what the heck? Like, it's not until you get a bit older that you actually understand the effect of what your education kind of really was. Like, and it's a bit of a trip down memory lane, of like, man, we were like the guinea pigs, but then we were also kind of like the experts at the same time. Like.
And that's how it was. Like, we were learning as well as teaching. And I mean, you do that in all walks of life, but we were, again, I'll take it back. We were 8, 9, 10 years old, had no clue what we were going to do in life, but teaching growing people who have, have these big jobs or whatever it may have been, how to use a microphone and a computer to record yourself and then put it out to the world.
And just like mic drop.
Pretty much, yeah. No,
like it's powerful, bro.
It is. It's huge.
Like
it's huge.
It's, and I think, like I said just previously, like you have maybe 20 people in front of you that you're presenting to. Those 20 people go away and teach their class. That's 20 times 30. That's 600. If I'm doing my maths right, like that's 600 people that you're influencing with your talk as an 8-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And I think the word that I've kept using on this podcast with students like you, well, adults like yourself, but when you were students, is the term being digitally fluent. Yeah. It was just so like, and every person I talk to are just the same. You guys like say it so it's like nothing, and I have to keep being like, man, you're so humble in terms of like what you were doing, but like it was a huge deal. Like the stuff, like you're having visitors. I remember even when I started at Pointingland, this was back 10 years ago, we were having visitors of 10 to 15 people every week come into our classes and want to talk to us and see what the kids were doing. And I mean, it's chilled out a little bit now just because everyone's doing it. Yeah. But I mean, we were the start of the Manaiakalani schools in our cluster were the start of that big change. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, when you think about like bigger picture. Yeah. But yeah, well, let's go back. Let's go back another little trip down memory lane. Is there something? I know you've talked about your love of Dragon Ball Z as well. But is there something that you remember creating at school that you were like really proud of, or something that you created that you were able to share beyond the classroom as well?
In terms of creation, I mean, it wasn't even to do with technology. But it was the enjoyment of being able to do, what was it called? Like you get told you need to do basically it was just a project. Okay. That I think I was in, she was Miss Erickson back then, before Mrs. Langitupu. Yeah. But it was in her class, and it was, you had to create, it was like a project of creating, you had like milestones, right? So from the year you were born up until the current year back then, you had to create milestones of what you did in that year, or something great you did in that year, but then also explain something that happened in the world that year. So you had to do both. So me being born in 96, going up to whatever year it was, I think it was like 2005, you had to come up with a milestone each year of what you had achieved. Something cool you had achieved or whatever, and then something in the world that was achieved, or
a big something that happened in the world.
And I like it was cool because that really created a creative mind as well, because you had to think outside the box of how you were going to present it. Because you couldn't just put it down on a paper and say, this is what happened, this is what happened. You actually had to present it on something cool. It was Kiwiana, that's what it was. You had to present it on something that was to do with Kiwiana. Okay. And so back then, being like a rugby union supporter and player for Point England and all that sort of jazz, me and my mum my mum, because I was only a kid, but me and mum both came up with the idea of an All Blacks jersey. So we bought just a little black polo from, I think it was Rendell's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bought it from there. And then we got white twink, and we put on a silver fern like whatever it was, All Blacks, whatever. And then the way we presented it was we put it on a hanger with cardboard inside the shirt to stiffen it up. Yep. And we had white cardboard that we drew rugby balls on. And so then, the line, like if you had like a line down the middle of the rugby ball, we split it. And so then you'd have, on the top line, you'd have 1 year, on the bottom line you'd have another year. Oh, man. And so then each rugby ball on there was
a different year.
A different year, or 2 different years or whatever. So we had some down the front of the shirt, some down the back of the shirt, and then we had a couple hanging as well.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And like it was a proud moment to bring that into class on a hanger and present it. And then in the middle, my mum up the top of the hanger by the shirt, my mum thought it would be funny or cool to take a photo of me, print it out, and put it up the top. So I was the player, and she made. That's right, yeah. She made little legs with rugby boots on and stuff like that. Like
Oh my gosh, how cool's that?
Yeah. And so that was really cool. And it was cool because I learnt about stuff. I don't think it was the world. I think it was New Zealand. I think it was stuff to do with New Zealand, on whatever year it was in rah. So you learnt more about your culture. You learnt more about where you're from, being, as a country and stuff like that. And it was just, to have that as a kid,
so cool, man.
Yeah. I learned more about myself as a baby, like what I had done each year. When I had first started clapping, when I first started walking, and we were it was cool because me and mum were able to pull out photos.
Just thinking that those rich conversations you're having at home with your parents is those are cool, man.
Yeah, and I benefited by it too because mum had kept track of everything. Cool. In a photo album, so we were able to look at. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Mum. Yeah. We were able to look at a photo and actually go, this was when this happened, and we went to the National Library or whatever it was in the city. Okay. To look at stuff to do with New Zealand.
Oh, those years.
Because we had to pull out books from like.
Slanging Tupu, man.
It was cool. It was really cool. Yeah, I'd do it all again if I could because that was a really good experience.
And for any of you teachers that are listening right now, that's a really cool project that you could be doing with your kids. And 20 years later, they'll remember it. So that's man, what a cool task.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I suppose the next question I have is, so you're kind of like, you feel like you're pretty digitally fluent at the end of year 6, right? When you're about to leave to Kohimarama Intermediate. Yep. What was that like when you moved to Kohimarama? Like, did you find that, was it still digital there?
No.
So how did you find that move?
The move was, it was easy, but it wasn't. They had a computer lab as well.
Okay.
But you didn't use it as much as you did at Point England. Okay. A lot of it was being at, individual desks with just your standard book and paper. Okay. I suppose technology hadn't gone to that, extreme in other schools. We were lucky enough at Point England that like Mr. Burt and Mrs. Burt were trying to enforce it because they knew where it was going in the world, So it did take a little bit of a step back, like technology was like, it was here, it was mean, it was good, and then it just went back. We had a computer at home, but internet wasn't as what it is now. It was slow. It was all that sort of jazz, But yeah, I suppose in terms of technology, there were opportunities there. But as I got older, I didn't take those opportunities that maybe I should have. We had cool things like they were bringing in robotics. Oosh. So we were learning how to what's it called? Like code these robots. I don't know if it's coding, but
I think it's like coding.
Code these little robots. We'd do like a whole technology class. We'd code a robot to like walk or to to do this or do that. Oosh. And muck around learning that sort of stuff. So it was a completely different avenue of technology.
And you enjoyed doing that?
Yeah, no, that was cool. I wish I had listened more. Because like being an immature young fella, my mind wasn't really listening at what was going on. I was just mucking around.
Yeah, I get you.
And then at Glendowie, it was technology was there. Computers were there, but you'd pull out a laptop every now and then. It wasn't until like my last year of college that laptops and technology really started coming into effect. That you could bring your own laptop in or stuff like that. Yeah, because we weren't even allowed to be on our phones in college. During class, And I mean, that's normal, understandable. But even at lunchtime, you weren't really allowed to pull out your phone. They'd take it off you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until my last maybe year or two that they said you could. So, and back then, iPhones weren't huge.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, up until...
So your flip phones.
Yeah. We still had the
Nokia 2280s.
yeah, bro, like bricks.
Snake.
We still had bricks, you know, like we memorized under the desk, like each note, each letter.
Yeah.
You know, what number was each letter and rah.
Yeah.
And it was, that was insane. I've always said it, and I'll stand by it, being in that bracket of maybe like 92 to 96, 97 babies, we're the lucky ones. Because we had the beauty of no technology and playing on our bikes, you know, playing touch on the road, sports, everything like that, as well as we developed with technology as it was coming in. Whereas you get people that were probably born a little bit earlier that took a little bit longer to adapt to technology, and then you've got the likes of my kids now who are seeing technology everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so we were in that middle where we were lucky to have the best of both worlds.
For the people listening to this podcast that are wanting to become a business owner, do you have any advice for them starting out?
Yeah, it's a very easy answer. If you're on the fence about doing it, or whatever, you know, with whatever business you're wanting to do or venture you're wanting to take, just do it. Just do it, because you're either going to fail or succeed, but the only way to succeed is if you fail. So you're never going to get there if you're, you know, umming and ahhing. And that's the biggest thing about Point England is that they always, it's in the slogan, strive to succeed. How are you going to succeed if you never give it a go? So that's my advice, because, yeah, if I didn't give my clothing a go, I wouldn't be where I am now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's, you're right.
Yeah.
Times get tough, but you just got to keep going, eh?
Yeah.
And
that's all it is.
Yeah, I suppose you hit the nail on the head right there. I guess next question I have for you is if there's someone that you would like to give along your journey a shout out to, and just kind of a reason of how they or what that person maybe did to set you up to succeed in your life.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a hard question.
Yeah, it is, because I've got heaps.
Lots.
I've got a lot. Yeah. I suppose Mr. Burt is one, the principal of Point England School, because that dude put so much effort into every single kid at that school, right from, you know, like even back when I was there, and I know he still does it now. And I suppose the mana and just the love he has for the school and the kids and even the parents. You know, he just puts 110% effort into everything that he does, and his staff, all the teachers there as well. He's a legend. He's an actual legend, and I reckon New Zealand need to knight him, because the dude, he's definitely, you know, and that's me. But I am being biased, but shout out to Mr. Burt, man, because the dude, if I hadn't gone to things like Riverside Club, you know, and just been at Point England School, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today, because it opened my eyes up to how to be as a person and how to present yourself, and things like we spoke about earlier, you know, the presenting to the international adults and stuff. That built I wasn't that confident, and it's built my confidence, all because Mr. Burt planted that seed from the very beginning. And so the seed being planted is now growing into a tree.
Well and truly blossoming.
Yeah. Growing into several trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a blossoming garden and whatever it is.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you, bro.
But it's starting because of him. You know, Mr. Burt then goes and goes and goes and goes. But it all comes back to Mr. Burt. And shout out to all my teachers too. I haven't forgotten you. But
He's kind of the driver of the big vessel. Hey, he kind of is the one that makes everything work, but he's also the one that you'd always go and sit there and he'll have an hour for you, even if he's got 3 million jobs to do.
Yeah,
kind of thing. He's a good man. A lot of people appreciate that man. I know.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wrapping up, the last question that we have for today. What's one message you'd like to share with adults who may not realize how students in Manaiakalani are being set up to succeed?
I suppose for parents and adults, it's the Manaiakalani is just helping to develop kids in this day and age. I don't know how to put it into words, but with the way that technology is going, Manaiakalani helps to create that confidence within the kids to then be able to, confidently use technology to a very advanced. See, I'm using big words because I don't know how to put it into words. But basically, it just creates the confidence about using technology, And yes, everyone knows how to use a phone, everyone knows how to use a computer, but when it comes to things like being creative, doing design stuff, making podcasts, because podcasts are huge. Content creation, that's huge.
Massive job.
Using a camera, using a microphone. Manaiakalani helps so much by starting your kids early and just giving them the opportunity to then grow into something they may not think that they can be. I suppose that's the best way to put it. Manaiakalani helps kids grow into people they don't think they can be. And get out of their shell.
Yeah. Straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, that's that, I don't know what to say there.
Yeah.
That was great what you said. And I agree. I think there's so many opportunities that Manaiakalani gives to students in a very digital world now that are setting them up to be successful in that digital world.
Yeah.
But I mean, thanks so much. You've given us so much to go through. Like I said at the start of the podcast, but 16-year-old Lorenz to where you are now and what you've accomplished in your life so far.
Yeah.
Still so much to do, but you're killing it, bro. Like you're you're such a well-spoken, but also very accomplished in what you're doing in your life. And I know you're a massive family man too, and you're doing all this stuff, I know, for your kids and for your wife and your family. Another thing that I didn't tell our listeners is actually how Lorenz got in touch. Was he saw himself on one of the Instagram reels and commented, and then we got messaging, and hence the reason he's here. So if there's anyone else that's listening to this podcast that's kind of thought, man, I've had similar things happen to me, whether you went to Point England or even it would be even better, different schools around the Manaiakalani cluster that you went to and you've had similar experience, we'd love to have you on the show and hear your experiences about your education and everything like that. But appreciate you, bro. And that's us. We out.
Sweet. Thank you.
Bang.